Hey fellow survivors, so today I want to quickly go through, well, I'm not so sure it's going to be quick, but I just want to go through some changes that I have been added to the Propagator in the last couple of months. One of the new features now is that if you go into the hatchery linking, you can then go to add connection, and you can now see all of the connections you can connect to. So I'm going to connect to the incubator. Now you might wonder why. Let's talk about massive breeding. So you may have this propagator set up for melees, you might have this set up for weight, health, etc. And you might be doing multiple variations, like you might be doing a Rex in one, you might be doing, or well, at least 3 Rexes in health mutation. Health mutations, weight mutation. Oh, not so much weight, but melee. And you might do something for your megatheriums or something like that, where you might be doing the weight and melee on them, or health. So you might want to create 3 hatcheries for the health, 3 hatcheries just for the melee. Or you might want them all to go to the same hatchery. So I don't think you can do that. But anyway, basically, once you've done that, we can now go and show the connection, and we can see that I've connected it to the incubator. So that's that. I'm just going to quickly turn that off. Now, another thing that I added recently is if I go to, actually, first of all, I'll show you the ankies. You can see that the male and the female have all got different stats. And I want to focus on the health here. And you can see that the health has got 75 on the male. And if you look at the female, and the health has got 50. So when I go down to start breeding, I've got this option here called best stats. And if the admin for your server has this turned on, what this means is that when you go to breed the 2 parents, if the male has got, on this case, it's got 75 in the health, and the female's got the 50 in the health, it's going to always take the 75 and give that to the baby every time. So that's just one other option. So I'm just going to quickly close that, and I'm going to now go through another option, which is to help with the egg creation itself. So one of the other things that can be a problem is if you've got 80 females in the terminal, it can get a bit laggy and whatnot, because it's got to go off and create 80 eggs. Or it won't be every time, because at different breeding times. But depending on the settings of your server, you might be generating 10 or 15 eggs at a time per propagator, and that's just for your tribe. So that does put a little bit of stress onto the server. Not a great deal, but a little bit. But the one thing that can be a problem is to go through all of those eggs and decide which ones to keep, and whether you got the mutation where you wanted it, etc. By general rule, I always do about 30 females to 1 male. I don't usually do much more than that, but I know there are people out there doing a lot more. So now I want to talk about the one that I just added a couple of days ago called egg filtering. And I'm just going to quickly reset just in case. But it might look a little bit daunting, but it's not that complicated. The one thing I will stress out is this section here where it says the selected resource costs will still be deducted for eggs that will be filtered out. So what that means is that if you put something into all of these stats here, and the egg is then decided that it doesn't match what you want, it will get deleted. But it will still charge you the cost of creating that egg in the first place. So keep that in mind when you are creating your filtering statistics and whatnot here. So I just want to quickly go through. I've got these two eggs. You can see that the first one I tried to get a second mutation into. I've got it set up so that you can put 2 mutations in, so you can get 4 stat points. So I'm trying to get that second mutation into the weight to get it 8 points. This egg, I obviously did that. But what I want to do is I want to show you that this male here has got 4 mutation points in the weight, and obviously the clean female has got nothing. So what we want to do is, we know that there's already 4 points, so I'm quickly just going to add the 4 points. But that's just for the current mutation. So what we now expect is that the next mutation that happens, we want it to be in the weight. So we'll then increase that to 8. If I can get it on there. You can either hit the plus or minus, or you can type it in here. So basically what I've done now is, if I close that, it means that, actually no, I'll open it back up. So basically what it means is that because I've got 8 here, it just means that when I now create, or goes off and creates an egg, it's going to come along and say, do you have 8 points in the weight? Yes or no. If it doesn't, it's going to delete the egg, and it's then going to go back to breeding another egg. Now the the breeding times still are in play. So if it takes you 2 hours to breed an egg, it's going to take you another 2 hours to breed with this one as well. The only thing this does is decide for you whether to keep that egg or not. Now the other thing too is, when you are breeding with clean females, you may not want any female eggs. So you can come down here and you can tell it to destroy female eggs. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to quickly go through is that if you do have, which I've deliberately done here, let's focus on the health. And if you do have 75 points in health, and you've got 50 points in health on this one, we can go back to the egg filtering, and we can say, because this is for those servers that don't have the better breeding, for instance. So some servers might turn the better breeding off because it's going to be guaranteed the best egg every time it breeds. Whereas this doesn't guarantee you the best egg every breed. It guarantees that the egg you want to keep matches what you are telling it. But it could still take you 10 hours. Won't be 10 hours, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say here, is that it could still take you a long time to get that egg. Okay, because all of the taming timers will still come into play. Now, because there's 75 points in one of them, and that's the highest in the health, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 75 in here. So what I've done now is I've basically told the filtering system that I only want the wild stat in the health to be 75 points. I don't care about any of the other stats on wild. When it comes to the mutations, I want 8 points in the weight, and I want you to keep only male eggs. And that's as simple as it gets. It's not that complicated, and it just basically saves you from going through your eggs and deletes them for you. So I hope you enjoy the additions.